I think people from the outside can view people and think, oh my God, you're doing so many things. Oh my God, great. It's like, yeah, but I don't sleep and it's a constant stress. There's a crazy drive you have to have.
What have you built and what inspired you to build it?
Besides myself.
That's
right?
Number one.
Right? I think myself is number one. My first thing was building my freelance career as a stylist. I mean, it was like scary because I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to structure my day. And I'm freaked out because, you would go to work from like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, and it was taken care of and you're working for someone else. So the building of my own career as a stylist and all kind of the failures that come with that and the crazy amount of hours that went into that is something I'm super proud of, and I'm still building it.
Yeah. That's kind of the rock of Gibraltar for you.
Yes,
and then you
100%.
have a million and one other businesses that you're creating
things.
off of that. We've got apps, we've got clothing lines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but it's all being fed from creating that really strong foundation.
Right.
It's like build a house that won't crack on that. And then realizing that I kind of want it to flex more of my own creativity and my own brain and just see where it could go organically, but also deliberately. Like,
right.
It's like so hard, which I think people from the outside can view people and think, oh my God, you're doing so many things. Oh my God, great. And it's like, yeah, but I don't sleep and it's a constant stress. And there's every facet of you gets so stretched.
Right.
So that's hard.
That's hard.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it means to really build too, and be a builder, because you've got to draw from this really deep place. So were you a born leader or did you have to learn to become one?
I think I was a born leader, which is probably annoying to say. Like, even when I started styling, I only assisted a tiny bit because I felt so confident that I had the skills to do it. And also that I'm humble enough, I'd like to think, even though I'm very confident, that it was okay that I was never afraid to ask anybody for help or ask questions. So I'd always find someone way smarter than me and way more experienced and like pick their brains for a little bit and then just really, really work at it. Maybe it's not just smart. I mean, I'm a hard worker. I think that's it too.
You've been called the most confident woman in the world.
Oh,
I
God.
found that.
Oh. I think that was Judy Greer for the New Yorker said that.
That's good. I like it. But I want to know, in all seriousness, I think that's something that we struggle with. So many of us have a really hard time finding that voice. Mm-hmm. And many times that comes later in life because we're so conditioned to people please all the time and stifle that voice.
Yeah.
So where does that come from in all of this? Because I think that's one of the things we just appreciate most about you is you've been kind of this staunch activist who has a really powerful voice.
Oh, thanks.
I guess it's two-pronged. Did the style come first and the voice followed, or did the voice come and the style is kind of a manifestation of that?
I remember being a kid that had a pretty loud voice, and it probably got me in a little bit of trouble. But I think if I think of like what I was standing up for was always kind of my moral compass. So I've always had that. But that's kind of who I am. But you're so right. Like even when I say, like it was scary for me to say, okay, I'm going to do a clothing line or I'm going to do a collaboration because often women were told, you're one thing. It takes a lot of vagina to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. And not be afraid of someone saying, well, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's not a creative director. And it's like, no, I am. Mm-hmm. And so getting that, I'm fortunate that I found mentors. And sometimes they're side-by-side mentors. Like when people think of mentor, I think sometimes they think it has to be a CEO.
It's a peer.
It can be peer.
It's
your
someone
best mentors
who
are
works for
right
you.
beside you.
That's right.
And so I have this one like person who really has said it's good to be great at something. It's good to, and it's also okay to fail. I mean, I fail all the time. That's just trying.
So on that, who is the first woman you looked up to, and why did you want to be like her?
There are a lot of women Oprah.
You've dressed her.
Oh my God, it was the best day.
That's
of my
not
life.
bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. That was
Spiritual aura.
was a big day.
That was a big day.
Yeah, when I ever get like blue or something, or I think, I'm not where I want to be. I think, well, girlie, you worked with Oprah that day.
Not bad. Not all in a day's work.
But it's funny about Oprah because like I was a kid who went home after school and watched TV, and I watched Oprah.
You and me both. With my nanny, my Irish Catholic nanny, and we would just sit for hours and hours. But she was the closest thing at the time that I knew to a woman who, had an assertion around
Oprah.
something.
I think my answer is Oprah.
All roads lead back to Oprah.
Yeah.
Greatest risk you've taken?
Well, I moved to America for love and completely changed my career. So I think that's
pretty big.
And I'm still in love. So that's
still in love. We are really fascinated by this idea of breakdowns, my team and I. So this idea of kind of, we call them big B breakdowns and little B breakdowns.
Okay.
The big B are those traumas that blindside you, usually externally driven, out of nowhere. And then these little Bs are like that gnawing feeling that something's off, wrong. It just doesn't sit well. You're in misalignment. Can you walk us through a breakdown that you can think of personally or professionally and how you broke through? Assuming there was a breakthrough.
I mean, there's lots. I probably have more of those little breakthroughs than anything. I think realizing what it means to be the leader was a major thing. And then that's come into my styling career where, I've been really lucky that I've had amazing teams and I've had people that have stayed with me for a long time, because it's a business where you kind of want them to grow, and a lot of them, they want to be stylists. So you're like, okay, it's time for you to spread your wings. And I had an employee and I was like, no, it's time for you to spread your wings because you're like hurting mine right now.
I love that. You have to spread, because there does come a point.
There comes a point where you're like,
you're hurting mine.
Yeah. Which is hard, but it's like, and you can stay with your instincts. And it's also learning in business too. And I think any woman, this is important, is that gnawing feeling is really somebody, the universe saying to you, oh my God, deal with it.
Redirect.
What
makes you now, during the course of your business, doubt yourself the most, and how do you manage it? Where do those moments of doubt creep in?
Well, I think when you're about to launch something, when I just launched the app, I was like not sleeping for days and months because I was like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if it's a failure? Fear of failure really is a big thing for me. Then I realized, no, it's more of a failure not to try, which I guess everybody says that, but it's kind of true. Like, what's the worst going to happen to you?
And one incarnation, what I've learned, building a lot of different businesses and that sort of thing, is the first incarnation might be a failure, but that leads you to version 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. That is. You just have to watch it and follow it and not be married to it, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to better understand how you know when to leave someone or something.
Well, I think it's that gnawing. I think if you're tapped into your instincts, which I think is such an important thing for all of us to really find them and listen to them, that's when I know. I just know. I don't know if there's something a little magical in me, or just that I can feel it in my heart. Like, oh, this isn't good for me anymore. And my husband, Matthew, always says, and he's my creative partner as well, he always says to me, like, make sure you're giving yourself to the right people and the right things, because you still have to come home at the end of the day and give to us. And when you give to the wrong stuff, you don't have anything left to give the stuff that matters. So.
Okay. Uplifting moment, bravest moment in, the past 12 months.
My bravest moment in the last 12 months? I think launching an app and going into this like tech world.
And you're built on a really solid tech platform, which is, this is not a, casual app. You've really built something with strong functionality.
I'm such a crazy perfectionist. Like I was like, if it's my name on it, it can't be less than anything. I'm never satisfied. And maybe that's what drives me too. I don't really think, oh yeah, great. I'm always like, what could be slightly better, or what's next? I'm not that sentimental.
Knowing what you know now, was it all worth it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super
even knowing how hard it is, right? It's a pain that's worth bearing through.
It all feeds each other, and all the stuff I miss, like, and on a real, especially as a woman, like the amount of family stuff I missed because of jobs and reacting to clients and having to be like, okay, I'm going. Like, I remember once I was getting on a plane to go on family vacation, and I got a call. It was actually Mariah Carey, and she's like, Karla, do you think you could come and do stuff in New York? And I was like, yeah. And I left the airport. And this was like, but this was like 8 years ago. Of course I was going to. A, it was money, and B, it was like, that is a huge opportunity. You just kind of have to, there's a crazy drive you have to have when you're a freelancer. If you want to get to a certain level or an entrepreneur.
And have it and be an entrepreneur. And I think it's so powerful that you clear up that misconception, because I think especially in the sort of work that we do, you see the glitz and the glam and the stage and the bright lights, and what no one sees are all the things that you end up missing, the sweatpants, that you're in 20 most of the time with like a hair, which is, as I was thinking about, even getting dressed to sit down with the greatest stylist in the world right now. It's like,
I changed in the car. You're fine.
Yeah, not savvy. What do you see yourself building next?
Well, I want to like keep working on the app and make it global and a huge resource. I actually don't want anybody to get dressed without it. And then I have a project that I'm about to start, and it's it's more on a humanitarian level. Because ultimately, as well, I get where my heart lies is really in activism, and I see this as working as a tool to get to where I really want to go. And don't get me wrong, I love styling and I love fashion. I love it actually just as much as activism, but I feel like there's a greater call in my life to go and build this thing that I'm starting. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So 3 words or less, you're just going to hit me with whatever first comes to mind. What do you most value in others?
Kindness.
What do you most value in yourself?
Kindness.
What holds you back?
Not much.
One thing you're afraid of?
People being sad.
One thing you change about yourself?
Well, I'd like to have much longer legs. Just like at my height.
What is your biggest vice?
Coffee.
What keeps you sane?
Coffee.
Something you wish you would have stopped sooner?
Working so hard.
Something you wish you would have kept doing?
Family therapy.
What keeps you going and building?
To make my parents proud. I know they're proud.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're proud.
They're proud.
Thank you for coming, sharing. We're all going to tap into a little more of that activist spirit. So appreciate you.
I love that.
Thank you today.